2 girls went online. One mother said he beat her daughter up. One girl said he beat her up with a hockey stick. This is all before my involvement. Why would they lie? And then when he said he was naming her, I sat her down that night and said, Charlie, I don't really want you to give evidence. But she wanted to give evidence, and in hindsight now, I should never have let her. She gave evidence, judge said she lied. She's a grade A fucking law student. She then claps out of her court case, out of her college course. Then I find out she's been sectioned through mental health. I shouldn't have fucking let her. I shouldn't have let her.
Nick Lowles, the leader of the far-left group Hope Not Hate, posted on X about an alleged acid attack on a Muslim woman in Middlesbrough, which the police later denied. And despite apologising, and he didn't remove the tweet, it led to Muslim men wearing balaclavas, wielding weapons and threatening violence. He also shared locations from a hoax list, encouraging people to cause trouble, and defended it by saying, quote, yes, the list was a hoax, but just look at the front pages today. Guido Fawkes revealed that 2 of the group's trustees are now Labour MPs, Sarah Owen and Gurinder Singh Jozan, with the government whip Anna Turley serving as both a director and trustee. Do you think...
Sarah Owen is the MP for where, Wigan?
I believe so.
I believe so, where in Wigan there were protests. And what they don't show you is that one of the migrants, wielding a big massive machete, just stabbed another migrant in the middle of the town centre while she's standing there the week before with refugees welcome.
Do you think that these political connections are why Nick Lowles hasn't faced any police action?
No. So Hope Not Hate are basically Mi5. 100%. He will never face prosecution. Hope Not Hate's job in this process was exactly what they've done. And when they say, we show it in the documentary, when he says, look at the front page of the papers, they created 100 imaginary riots. They created them. They were losing. Public we're out. They then mobilised. They didn't care that some people would get hurt. They mobilised Muslim militias in every major town with a Muslim community. Now, if we didn't have X, no one would have seen the young English lads getting their heads jumped all over in all of those towns. The pubs coming under hostile attack. There's been no big televised campaigns to find the men committing the violence. None of them are facing prosecutions for the machetes, the swords, the weapons. None of them. Because in the next day on the paper, they crushed. They won. Crushed what? Crushed what? There was one demonstration plan that day in Aldershot and it was totally peaceful. So yeah, Nick Lowles, this isn't just the Labour government though. They had Conservative support. This is, if ever you hear about the deep state, that's Hope Not Hate. And their job is to attack anyone. We live in a country with supposed free speech. We don't. We live in a post-free speech era. But their job is to make everyone too scared to exercise their free speech. They contact, if you're a commentator and you start speaking out legitimately about any issues that go against the mainstream government narrative, open border mass immigration, transgenderism, even Black Lives Matter at the time, they find out where you work. They have a whole team. They look up the HR departments. Then they contact them about racism. So then the big corporations and the companies already are pushing the woke agenda. So people, we won't need communist laws or tyrannical laws to come in to silence people because people will self-censor. I just had a gentleman here, a very well-known podcaster, who said he's been very quiet for the last few months because he put out a tweet about the Southport killing. He's one of the most famous podcasters in the UK. And he said, off with his head, or no, hang him. That's what he said, hang him. When he went to fly on holiday, he was detained at the airport by the police. They showed him a list of tweets, none of which broke the law. But they warned him that some of the comments under them from other people, he's lucky he's not facing prosecution. Now he said, I don't know what to say anymore. He said, he goes, bruv, I ain't doing 2 years in jail for fucking tweeting stuff about these politics. So already from the conversation with him, I said, don't you get the prevent policy, which is what this is. This is the reason for it. They scare you. So I was in another group chat with lots of young football hooligans, yeah? Young kids from years ago. And one of them went down to Speaker's Corner, 16, Harry. And he stood having a conversation. He said, Islam's violent. That's what he said. His mum gets a knock on the door by two plainclothes police officers who introduced themselves as counter-terrorism because Prevent is a counter-terrorism scheme. So the mum's crying. No, what the fuck's going on? She said, we're worried about your son. So the son sits down. What's he said? Islam is violent. It is. So they warn him. This is the first steps. They warn him. There's 5-step guide and they say it ends in genocide. Lunatics, yeah? Lunatics. But the purpose of these schemes, because all of Harry's friends, all the kids in the group chat, all the parents who have now been terrified, they don't need a law to censor them out. They will self-censor their opinions. They're never going to sit and say Islam's violent. They're not going to tell the truth on social media or on the streets, which is what this is about. It's a total attack on freedom of speech. We should be free to say whatever we want as long as it doesn't break the law and incite violence. So why are counter-terrorism knocking up? We saw it in my last documentary. Why are they coming in because some bloke need Christian? He said to his priest, Christians need to stand up. They turned up with a mental health worker and counter-terrorism.
It's Prevent.
It's Prevent. But the problem with Prevent, so Prevent was brought in to deal with the Islamic community and the fact that none of them are reporting on the fact they're all becoming little terrorists, yeah? But they've been desperate since day dot to find white cases. So then they can say the fastest growing numbers are white children. Yeah, white children who told the truth about Islam. Prevent. So another little girl who's friends with one of my daughters. I took them out for a day. Prevent contacted the school because she spent a day with Tom Robinson. Do you know Bailey? Let's get on to, you know the film I've made? I made a film, this one that's 53 million views. What a lot of people don't know is when I went up to meet that family and I interviewed them for the first time, they were hiding in a hotel that's on the outskirts of Huddersfield and the mother's crying her eyes out. And she said, I've spent all my Christmas money, Tom. She's just a council house mum, yeah? She spent all her Christmas money for the kids' presents on the hotel. So what am I going to do? Where am I going to go? And then I found out the police had been trying to house them in a Diabandi Muslim ghetto in Leeds. So I said, what's your plans from here? She goes, I've got money for 2 more days. I said, all right. I said, to get through this, I'll come back up and pick you up tomorrow. Let me go get a van. I'll go to your house. And they wouldn't go to the house, too scared, because the Muslims all turned up at the house. So when the Muslims had turned up at the house, this is 2 9-year-old sisters, a 15-year-old boy and a mum, a single mum. They barricaded themselves inside the room. They put the wardrobe. So when we went there and tried to get in the room, you could just squeeze through this much. When I got in there, I saw they'd pushed, imagine how terrified these kids are. They pushed everything up against the doors because all gangs of Muslims are outside. So in the documentary, you see me covertly record the neighbour to say what was going on. Oh, they were shouting, we're going to rape you. We're going to get your sisters. Those kids are in the house. No one even spared a fucking minute for them. No one has even spoke about it. We're all still on about the Syrian kid getting a bottle of water over his head because he's threatening to rape little girls. It's mental. The betrayal is mental. So Bailey, at that point, they come down to live with me. They're at mine. Do you know what? He is a tough kid. My son's 15 now. When I think about what that kid had on his shoulders at that age, it's fucking mental. The whole country turned on him. They just turned on him. Everyone was telling him to kill himself. And he tried to kill himself. Christmas Eve, day before Christmas Eve, barricaded himself in the room. All the police had to come, bust the door in. He's locked himself in to kill himself. The little sisters, they're in the house. And no one's helping them. No one. So I'm letting them deal with the council to try and get the girls in education where we live. It's been 6 months. So after 6 months, I said, give me the fucking phone. I said, one of the little girls, yeah? One of the little girls started self-harming at 9, yeah? Because they're in a town they don't know. They don't know anyone there. They've had to run. Bailey's blaming himself as a 15-year-old kid for the whole mess. So I rang the council. I said, give me the phone. And they said, who's that? I said, it's Tommy fucking Robinson, yeah? These kids have been out of education for 6 months, sitting in this fucking room. 6 months. What the fuck are you lot doing? How are they not getting taken to school? And then she said, they're in your house. I said, yeah, they're living in my house. They're in my house now. That's where they've been. And they said, we didn't know that they're in your house. They moved them within 5 days through fears of radicalisation. They fucking moved them. They got them a house because they were worried I was radicalising them. I said, you fucking mental. Bailey then went up. So Bailey at that point, still a child, Bailey went to, he had to leave. Yeah, well, they relocated the family to somewhere in the north of England. So he left. But he was on the phone to me every day saying, Jax, I loved living with you, yeah? And he stayed at ours for Christmas. So then I said, come back down. I'll get you an apprenticeship with my mates. I'll pick you up. So I used to pick him up every morning for the gym. He was, because he's a tough kid, man, who's had, when you go through his life, the head teacher says it on the recordings. He said, for the life he's had, yeah, he's had brothers in crime, brothers in prison. He's had a single mum. I don't want to slam the family down, so he's had an hard time as a child. He's a fucking lovely kid. And every teacher whose door I knocked on about him, every one of them, just laughed. Bailey, he's lovely. When I asked about Jamal, total opposite. Now, one teacher who was close to Bailey, and he said he loved her, yeah? He said she was like a mother to him. When I knocked on her door, which when you're doing this recordings with a button, it's always whether it works or not. I was so I knocked on her door. I said, you know why I'm here? She just, on her knees, crying. She just fell on her knees crying. I looked at her, I thought, I know what that is. That's guilt. You're guilty. You watched a little child be lied about and you get your fucking mouth shut. And then she said, how is he? I said, he lived with me. She said, how is he? I said, he's in the car. She legged it out to the car. So I just think this whole fucking lie, and they all got paid, but this whole lie that broke life after life after life. And it was all a lie. And Bailey then, so when we were on the idea of regret, well, I got told very early on, I got advised very early on, apologise. You have to apologise. I rang Katie Hopkins because she'd been through the same course. She said, Tommy, you can't win, man. Do you know in my case? So whatever they hit her for, it's a weapon. It's a weapon. Court's a weapon. Whatever they hit her for, she got attacked. She had LBC. She had the biggest fucking platform on Daily Mail. And then one day, said she read the letter. It come from the chair of mosques, chair of synagogues, all the leading people in all these organisations, and wrote to all of them to say she's got to go. She said, overnight, I lost my job, my livelihood, my income. Then they went through the courts. And when they went through the courts, she lost her home, she lost everything. So everything she'd worked for her whole life taken. So she goes, I'm telling you, Tommy, you've got to apologise. They're going to take everything. I said, how can I apologise? A, I'm not sorry. And B, for me apologising and saying it's true, throws that little kid under the bus again.
So you felt a bit of pressure?
Pressure, yeah, pressure. No one's ever telling me what to do anyway. So if you're telling me what to do, you can fuck off. But it's not that. No, by then I've got to know Bailey. He was like my fourth kid. Do you know what I mean? Mm. That's what he messaged me saying.
Take your time.
He thought it's all his fault. Jesus. Obviously, I'm in an emotional point.
Yeah, it's fine. No, it's understandable. You've got a lot on your mind at the minute, so...
It's not that, it's the fucking injustice of it. It's like, the injustice why you tell the whole country he's a racist bully, he's a lovely kid, and I lied. And in the case, so The case rested on, I said he threatened to stab someone. 2 girls went online. One mother said he beat her daughter up. One girl said he beat her up with a hockey stick. This is all before my involvement. I'm not even involved. Why would they lie? Why would these people lie? Do you know, they all deleted their comments because they got threatened with rape and everything, which I've got on covert recording, but why would these people lie? There's no reason why they'd lie. The judge found, after ruling that 7 teachers lied and 5 kids lied, destroying the little girl Charlie, who was studying law, grade A student. She come to court to do the right thing, and I fought to have her not named, and he named her. And then when he said he was naming her, I sat her down that night and said, Charlie, I don't really want you to give evidence, because I know as an adult the problems that can come with being linked with me, the way they've made it. But she wanted to give evidence, and in hindsight now, I should never have let her. I shouldn't have fucking let her. I shouldn't have let her. She gave evidence, judge said she lied. She's a grade A fucking law student. Google her name. Just brings up she's a liar, in my case. She then claps out of her court case, out of her college course. And to be honest, I don't know what to do with it. I haven't known what to do with it. I sort of hid from it. Then I find out she's been sectioned through mental health. These are all the collateral damage of a government lie. That they wanted to push open border mass immigration. That they wanted to hide the reality of the problem of one of the people that they've brought into the country. Just one. Because if you could hear the problems of the people they're bringing in, you'd be outraged. Not with a kid. He's a 15-year-old kid. He's from a war zone. Of course he's going to be a little shit. But the failures of the school to tackle him, and the failure on the British children that you've put him in there with. He was safe in Lebanon. He should have stayed there. But if you got to know the truth, you'd start questioning the government policies.
We hope you enjoyed this latest video from Vox Populi. To watch the full video for free, please check out our website at voxpopulimedia.com. Thank you for your support.